Welcome, everybody, to another semifinal matchup, this time between the Superchargers and Ties Only fans. I am Xenaero, and I will be joined shortly by a special co-host. We're looking to introduce Chain, who casted with me back in Week 5 on his own map. And he'll be joining us, I believe, at the top of the hour, but for now, you'll just be listening to me go over the team matchup. Now, earlier today, in the event you didn't catch the semifinal matchup between the Sexual Panthers and Best Ever, that game is on the World Doom League YouTube, and that link is right there in the chat. Now, we're not talking about them anymore. They had a pretty decent match, but for right now, we're looking forward to watching the Superchargers, the number 7 seed, take on Ties Only fans, the number 2 seed. Betting odds are about even at 1.15 to 1 favorite TOF, showing that the crowd thinks that the low seed challenger, the Superchargers, can take it away from Ties Only fans. Now, looking at the maps, the map slideshow will show 2 different maps, and those show Map 08, Something Epic, which is TOF's home field, and Map 03, Something Average, which is the Superchargers' home field. And you know what I'll do? I'll change it over to just Map 08 while I talk about it. You kind of get the picture. We'll do a little flyby in a bit. Map 08 is sort of the antithesis, if I said that right, for Map 03. While Something Epic is a very defensive map and requires a great deal of coordination, Something Average is completely chaotic, where the defense is made up and the frags don't matter. This map in particular is very defensive, and I talked about it needing a great deal of coordination because it is difficult to get out of the base. It is difficult to do a solo flag run across the entire map, but it's not impossible. Map 03, on the other hand, that's a very open map. Extraordinarily chaotic. There are almost no walls to speak of between the two bases. There's a gigantic open area. That map people are a little bit less familiar with, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But what I want to do right now is look at bring up the stats for the regular season. Now, the Superchargers go into this with a 2-3 regular season record. They're the only team to make it this far with only 2 wins. Ties Only fans, by comparison, has 4 wins and 1 loss under their belt. The quarterfinals saw the Superchargers defeat the Boomstick Warriors, and Ties Only fans defeated SBR, Steel Ball Runners. Talking about the Superchargers, while they were seated towards the bottom of the playoffs at number 7, they did defeat the Boomstick Warriors in a 3-0 rout, showing that just because they're seated lower doesn't mean they're necessarily weaker. Eyes are on the team captain, Ralphus, for the Superchargers, staring down the barrel of Map 08. It comes down to a strong runner to break the defensive stronghold against a team like Ties Only fans, whose players have established themselves as effective zone controllers. Ralph is a very talented runner who has got a couple decades of capture the flag under his belt, but Map 08 has traditionally been kind of a thorn in his side. It's been very difficult for Ralph to defeat other teams on Map 08, but will that change today? Moving on to K-Blair. Blair is expected to follow a lot of what he's done throughout the season and play a strong mobile defense for the Chargers. How will that work on their home field? Will Blair be able to move up and assist the runner if need be in Map 08? Will he be able to keep the base clear at all? All pivotal questions to be asked of any defender at the semifinals. Moving on to That's Just Prime. Prime has evolved over the season, that's for sure. We saw Prime hit as well. Prime, the longer the season progressed, shaking off that lack of confidence we saw in the early weeks with his gameplay that cost his team a couple of moments. But don't count him out. He's the mainstay support player of the Chargers, and if there's a do or die moment, it's definitely in the semifinals. He played very well in the quarterfinals. Will that be enough to unseat the number 2 seed? Moving on to Solar, the reserve player. Always in the wings, waiting to strike. Could make a start the semifinals, even jump in mid-series if things go sideways for one of the players on the Chargers roster. The bottom line is, having a second option always available in your games is a valuable asset to have, and will bolster the Chargers' options. Now we'll flip it. Let's talk about Ty's OnlyFans. Seated at number 2. Only beaten by best ever. TOF sports a 4-1 record and look to employ their fragging might on Map 08, something epic. Against their opponents, with the first 2 rounds being home field advantage. Last week saw them eliminate the Steel Ball Runners from the quarterfinals in a 3-1 victory. Will we see TOF run a similar victory against their challenger, the Superchargers? I mentioned home field advantage. All blue teams have home field advantage in the playoffs. What that means is in a best of 5, the first 2 rounds will be on their chosen map. The maps 3 and 4, rounds 3 and 4 rather, will be on the map chosen by the challenger, the red team. In this case, the Superchargers and map 03. If it goes to a 5th round, it will begin alternating. First in round 5 with the advantage going to the blue team. So we'll go back to map 08 for round 5. And if it goes into overtime, if there is no winner by map 05, by round 5, sorry. If there's no winner by that point, we'll be going to round 6, which will be map 03, round 7, map 08, and it will alternate from there on until we have a victor. Hopefully, we won't have both teams grinding their hands into dust playing 8 rounds, but it'll be entertaining for everyone watching. Moving on into Ty's OnlyFans roster, Ty, team captain and namesake of Ty's OnlyFans. Ty himself is looking forward to a strong start against the challengers this week. And thanks, King Dime, and 100 people joining us for the World Doom League semifinals. We're just running through Ty's OnlyFans right now. And continuing on, Ty's a strong defender. Will it be enough to stop Ralphus and the rest of the Superchargers and walk into map 03 with a convincing lead? Ed, probably one of the biggest talking points of the season is Ed topping the stat board in terms of damage per minute. Undoubtedly a strong player and very keen on covering his runners with unyielding super shotgun power. Mid and anti-spawn play sounds like it'll be right up Ed's alley. Daston got a lot of touches last week in the quarterfinals at 76 touches over 4 rounds, higher than all of Steel Ball Runners put together. We might be looking at Daston to roll out as a strong offensive player where touches are paramount and cooperating with the rest of his team to get flags out on a map like map 08 where half the battle is even getting into the base. Galactus, the reserve for TOF, he's been a reliable player in the past when Daston wasn't able to make games. But he is no slouch. His last game was in week 5 where he met an even KD ratio and had the top damage of the series. It is entirely possible for him to walk out onto a heavy set of maps like map 08 and map 3 to go blow for blow with the Chargers. Welcome everybody to what we have here is a 3 versus 3 capture the flag series. We're late in the season. We're looking at the semifinals. Now, what will happen is you'll see 3 players from each team, and their roster can change between different members depending on what's happening in the rounds. And we'll give you an overview of map 8. Let me get into a game here, and I'll do a little flyby. And you're hearing a whole bunch of stuff happening. And soon you'll see it. And we're looking over map 08, which is the home field of Ty's OnlyFans. It is not starting yet. Now, we're looking at the Superchargers practicing for the game so far, that they'll be playing at the top of the hour. We got about 9 minutes left. The format is 3 versus 3 capture the flag. The terms for each round in this best of 5 series is 5 flag captures or 10 minutes, whichever happens first. A very defensive map for those unfamiliar with Doom multiplayer. This is a probably one of the oldest maps that we've had play on in terms of organized competition. A flag room that is overseen by a top area that can be gotten to by this lift with switches on both sides. And it leads out to this middle area. A very flat surface with lava in the middle. Teleporters to get back up in case you fall in. What you will see, however, are multiple routes up top. And these routes that I'm running on right now as a spectator, you can get to with a rocket jump. A lot of flag runners will be making their move, trying to get between the bases, just like that, with a well-placed rocket jump. From there, their options are sometimes die right there. But you can make this jump on the slope here, drop down, or you can try to fight your way through the base. This is one of the... Yellowtail does have it there. This is one of the most popular, more well-known maps of Doom Capture the Flag. And we'll be definitely looking for that as time goes on. Now, we will be seeing rounds 1 and 2 on this map. Rounds 3 and 4, however... let's see. I'm just going to switch over to single player, and we're going to take a quick look around the map at the Superchargers home field. We'll be seeing this map on rounds 3 and 4. If it goes to round 4, but you definitely will see it on round 3. It's a very wide open map. The flags don't like to render in single player mode, but this will be the pedestal for the red flag. There is a side hallway down that way. Runners can grab the flag and make their way over this way. Now, I don't have jumping enabled in single player, so you don't get to see me jump. You instead get to see me fall. There is an underground, kind of a, I wouldn't call it underground, but there is a side route with a lot of hard cover here. Expect flag carriers to try to hide in this little room. Off in the corner of the map, away from most of the action. But you can make your way back to the flag base, just like that. Running routes are going to be very chaotic. There is no defined route of gameplay at all. I mean, the last time we saw this map was in the quarterfinals, and the map was absolutely chaotic. There is a plasma gun in the middle, but to my knowledge, I don't think it's been used yet. Since the map was debuted in the quarterfinals. But that will be it for doing a little bit of a run through the multiplayer maps. I actually wonder if I can just simply reconnect. Yes, I can. Can reconnect right to the server there. We got about 6 minutes left to go. Because Amazon likes to force us to run ads every so often, we try to run them strategically so we have ad-free viewing at some point, so it doesn't interrupt the game flow. So I'll run a quick 2-minute, little 1-minute ad just to start things off, and then we'll do them at the intermission point. If you have subs, that's the only way to avoid ads playing at all. But we try to run them strategically so you, the viewer, don't miss anything crazy. Who's favored to win this match? Well, the odds were 1.1 to 1 in favor of Ty's OnlyFans, which is the blue team. So they are slightly favored by way of our World Doom League Discord betting bot to take the series and face best ever in the finals. I'll put a little message in the chat here. If you're interested in... And the betting line looks like it has changed. And you can't bet real money. Seems It's a little trickier of an issue, Cravey. But that message from Nightbot in the chat, if you're interested in Doom CTF, we have been casting it the entire season as much as we can. For the first time in World Doom League history, we started this league in various different forms in 2006, so we've had a long time to perfect the format. As flags get taken, we'll tab over to the players, and for those who don't know how this source port operates, if you have the flag, you get a glowing border around the viewpoint of the player. So look for that. We have a button that will tab between the flag carriers, and eyes are typically on them as we go through play-by-play. I will be joined shortly by a co-commentator, veteran player Chain, at the top of the hour. He wasn't able to make it for our little pregame here, but he'll be here for the game. And taking a little moment to recognize all of you for being fantastic people, and I hope that your Sunday is well, and that you're enjoying the prelude to a semifinal match and our hype for the gameplay we're going to see from these two teams. We did go over the roster and what we think may happen. Now, the player we're watching, K-Blair, is a defensive player. He'll be playing mostly up top, where he's firing those rockets. But you know, that's just what we expect. Teams are known to change their layout at any given point. And the Superchargers in particular are known to flex their tactical muscle on the fly. And the numbers are relatively close. TUF versus SUC. Numbers in the tens of thousands as players use our little Discord betting bot to place their bets, try to accrue all those little fun bucks. It's a lot like Salty Bet in the event that you've experienced that website. But we're getting close. I mean, 2 minutes left. And we're at this point, I believe that we're waiting for the players to file in the server. And it won't be long now. And if you have any questions about how the league is operated or what we do gameplay-wise, feel free to throw it in the chat. I'll answer every question I can. This is all about bringing the game to you guys. and Rude, under the screen name RythQL, you can buy 10k WDO bucks for $10. Fake advertisement. We don't condone false advertising. Rude. Get out of here with that. Ad breaks now show up in a stream window. Now show the stream window in a little pop-up. Oh, that's really cool. Fantastic. And you never watched competitive Doom before, so you say, achieving the goal of bringing Doom to us. Well, fantastic to hear, Caleb. I'm really happy for that, because we started this season kind of on a whim. We've created a new stats API that K-Blair is developing, and we'll be able to pull all kinds of stats throughout the season, throughout players' careers, on our website at doomleague.org. And that's something new that we're doing, and the casting is brand new too. I rolled out of bed one day and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start casting games, and it's worked out fantastically. Like, oftentimes you'll hear another voice pre-game, but our co-caster today is a little delayed. Normally I co-cast with K-Blair, but he's playing, so I gotta find a substitute, and we're just waiting on Chain to arrive. I'm going to actually check on that right now. And usually I have one person who provides a little bit of color commentary and a little bit of insight into the game. What damages the lava? That's an excellent question. Why don't we find out? I think it's 10. Oh, it is the 20. So you do melt very quickly. A lot. Am I? Wow, I spectated and I'm limited to the laws of gravity. That's fine. We can sit right here. It's a little cozy. A little cozy on this, this gravel. But cycling between the players is a warm-up. The tendons. These maps do progress pretty quickly. For anyone who's not too familiar with how the setup goes, it is 5 flag captures or 10 minutes. Whichever happens per round. We'll be starting rounds 1 and 2 on this map, map 08, and then rounds 3 and 4, if we get to it, will go to the Superchargers home field, which is map 03. Much more chaotic map. We will definitely see that map in round 3 because this is a best of 5. If it goes through round 5 and we don't have a winner, then it will start alternating between both teams' home fields. We haven't seen that yet. Most playoff games have been pretty short. That's not to say we won't. We're waiting on Ty's Only Fans to show up. I'm going to tab out real quick, let you look at that beautiful console, and figure out where... Oh, players are split between 2 different servers. TOF seems to be in one other server, idling themselves. Pop a question in there. See, hey, which one are we going to? Apparently, there's a miscommunication of where the game's going to happen. Players are leaving for the other server. You get a nice, lovely black screen while we boot up the next server. A beautiful transition due to a fantastic server browser. All servers are player-run. If you feel like subscribing or donating anything, not required, but all those proceeds go to server cost. But first things first, we gotta give you something to donate for, right? Players are filing in. We're looking at map 3 right now, which is the Superchargers home field. We'll see this in round 3. Map is absolutely chaotic. We, the quarterfinals VOD on our YouTube is definitely shows how hard it is to keep up on that map. It's a lot of fun to try to cast. And hey, thanks for the follows, everybody. The feed actually cuts off. I see Alan Gator, Sideburns, Flack. You guys are awesome. Any interest in our humble little community of fanatical competitors is fantastic. I know Alan was playing some Worms Armageddon. How'd that go? And good lucks and U2s going between the teams. I believe the players are getting ready to record their demos. You get to see a Doom guy fly across the screen in a terrible rocket jump attempt. And we'll be underway shortly. How are all of you today? Why don't you tell me about how your day is going? And thanks for the raid, Alan. Appreciate that. A big thanks to King Dime. Great speedrunner. For anyone who doesn't know King Dime, although most of you came from his stream, he was doing some Ultimate Doom speedruns earlier. Or not even Ultimate Doom, the whole Classic Doom library. Dude's definitely worth a watch. He does games done quick, the whole 9 yards. And I believe he is also helping to administer a QuakeCon at home event happening next weekend. I don't have a link handy for that one. But that definitely is an event worth looking into. It's a free-for-all tournament. So if you're a fan of Classic Doom, you want to make a little bit of money if you're good enough, check that out. It'll be, I believe the details will be on the QuakeCon website, but I don't know off the top of my head. We're just waiting right now for the teams to get ready to rumble. I don't see... Oh, I see Galactus in here. I don't see Ed. And I expected Ed to start for TOF. We might just be holding off for just a second. A little bit of dead air there as we wait for the teams to start. The Superchargers are ready to go. Ralph is saying, come on, let's begin. It is game time with the semifinal matchup between Superchargers and Ty's OnlyFans. The last semifinal was a few hours ago, and that VOD is now up on the World Doom League YouTube. Which is now in the chat. And the winner of that match is on to the grand finals. So we only got this match and one more to go in the season. And for now, we're just watching the Doom guys run around on the map we'll see in rounds 3 and 4. Map 03. We're just waiting on Ed to join the game. Oh, Ed is actually in here with just under a name I didn't recognize because Doom players can't stick to one dang screen name throughout the regular season. And thanks for the follow, Cormo. Welcome to Classic Doom 3 vs 3 Capture the Flag Best of 5 series between Ty's OnlyFans and Superchargers for a bid at the grand finals in the World Doom League Summer 2020 season. 5 flags or 10 minutes, whatever happens first in each round will determine the winner. And we'll be starting off on map 08 in rounds 1 and 2. Good lucks, have funs all across the board to each other. Although, would you really want to wish your opponent good luck? Hot take there. Call vote on the field. Someone says stop. Oh, no, I think that was just spectator chat. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh no, don't go yet. We're just, we're waiting a little bit. It's okay, we're just, you know, just... It's a fake call vote. We'll get there. We'll get there. I believe it's possible that players might be reconnecting for demos. We do like to record client-side demos in Doom multiplayer. It's kind of nice sometimes, in case someone has to, like, you know, review anything, or... In a way, it's a holdover from when we used to parse the demos for statistics on the website. We don't have to do that anymore. It's all server-side. And now we're looking at the map that we'll see in a moment. Teams just getting ready for the final time. Slight delays. Starting a little bit late today. It's no big deal. This map... I didn't go over spawn points so much. A lot of spawn points are either pistol start or on top of a shotgun. But we got a call vote on the field now where we are starting round 1. Let's get some pogs in the chat for Major Hype as we start off watching Max Just Prime, rocket jumping up. And it looks like he'll be taking a defensive stance for the Superchargers going into round 1. Watching Ralphus drop at mid. TOF in the Superchargers base. Dastin with the first touch and quickly dropped by Prime. That flag in a pretty safe spot. Ty looks like he's defending for TOF. Blair with the touch for the Chargers going out, but intercepted at the mouth of the base. We'll tab over to Ed, who traditionally provides the frag muscle for TOF. Chasing back a runner into his own base. Drops him quickly and returns the flag. Gets one up top. Meanwhile, the red flag was touched and quickly returned, showing that this map is a defensive powerhouse. Don't expect a whole lot of flag touches just yet. We just saw a runner, Ralphus, jumping up top and dropped by somebody at mid, showing the Super Shotgun's range with a hurt player. Can absolutely foil that side run. Dastin with the red flag. Not so fast, says Ralph.
Yo, Zen, can you hear me?
Oh, and there he is, the man of the hour, Chain.
I'm sorry about that. I just had back on a couple minutes ago, so I wasn't sure if if I was gonna find a free spot in the server. But thankfully,
And we have Ed out with the flag, the Chargers flag for the first score of round 1.
Whoa.
2 minutes have expired in round 1, and the first flag has been captured, putting the Chargers in a little bit of a bad spot early on. But that voice you heard is Chain, veteran Doom player, and the co-caster for today's game. Ralph out
What's up,
to mid.
everybody?
No, he didn't quite get there.
So
Chain. Oh, go ahead.
I know that the match started, but one thing I wanted to kind of mention is that I'm not sure how much TOF practiced, but I got to see the Superchargers practice a lot, almost exclusively on this map for the past week. And they put in games a couple sessions a day sometimes, and they've really tried to really shore up their D, but I'm not so sure it's gonna, it's really hard to emulate Dastin's craftiness here with the rocket jumps and everything, but we might see like a really low scoring game here if they manage to get ahead or pull even.
Both teams playing pretty defensive so far. There's a little rocket angled towards the top from K Blair to try to unseat the defender up top. Rockets do have deceptive splash damage zones and can definitely force a player off. Dastin with this Chargers flag out, but not out too far. Both teams playing pretty defensive. You touched on a great point. TOF not practicing a terrible ton, but the Chargers have been practicing their enemy's home field night and day. It might have a good impact on stopping the bleeding. They're only down by 1 flag.
I think they can definitely pull it off, but I'm noticing that Ty and Ed are really focusing their efforts in the middle, not so much with the base D like the Superchargers were.
That effort is showing with a frag discrepancy approaching 20 in favor of TOF. We knew that they had a frag-heavy team. Dastin with the flag. 10 health to his name.
Oh, he's out.
Dodges a rocket. Dodges 2 rockets.
He's still there.
Barely dodges the first one.
Oh, a little bit of a block
there is
there.
a pickup. Ed looking... Oh, a failed rocket jump from Ralph.
Oh, wow.
And that
was
is a mutual return
crazy
from...
return for both.
Excellent return from Blair. Last second return.
I was a little worried there because in the mid, the last line of defense for Red, or one of them, was just a rocket spam, and the flag was sitting there for a little bit, but it looks like it's coming back unchallenged almost. Wow.
Yeah, Dastin with what we call a catback. While everything was happening in the blue base, Dastin was like, look, I'm going to go grab the flag again while their defenders were all out. And that resulted in a capture 2-0. And, frags don't matter as much. They're more of a utility to get more flags. But they are not the end-all, be-all.
Means to an end.
A means to an end. Very well put. But we're about halfway through in terms of time limit on map 1. Or round 1, rather. Map 8 is TOF's home field. And that was a quick return from the Chargers.
I just noticed Ralph had a pretty good opportunity up there on top of TOF's medkits. He grabbed both of them, had a pretty good shot, but he decided to look back and return his flag and assist with that. I'm not so sure that's going to work out with them with the pressure that TOF can bring.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did talk about frags not mattering a whole lot, but as the frag discrepancy grows, it paints a picture of TOF controlling the mid with ferocity, limiting the offensive options of the Chargers. And that absolutely matters in a defensive map like map 8. Dastin dropped quickly after it's a mutual return. And this map is almost an anomaly in this season, where many maps are more of a blitz map or a very offensive heavy map. This is one of the most defensive heavy maps of the season.
Yeah, and one of the really old-time classics in a way. You know, this is one of the first maps that came out when the CTF standard was first, popularized in online Doom, and it's held up pretty well. I know some players definitely have issues with playing maps that are old, but this one has held up well in terms of not being completely a choke point, but also having lots of options if you're creative.
Yeah, it absolutely requires a lot of finesse, while it favors, heavy defenders. It also has a lot of opportunity for clever runners. Blair trying to make his way out of the base with the TOF flag, but no dice. Narrow corridors, foiling many runners. And we're 3 minutes away from the end of round 1. TOF, blue team is up by 2 flags. Dastin trying to make it 3, but intercepted. Flag returned.
Yeah, I think to your point that, this is a really defensive map. I think a lot of times, what I've noticed sometimes work with teams is if you're down 2-0 with about a couple minutes left, I think you may as well take everything out and go for it, because
we're watching Dastin.
It takes a while.
Oh, Dastin out
he
across
is there, just as
with excellent rocket cover from his team. They dropped down. Wow. They both came out of the base just to assist Dastin, but all work was on Dastin to get out of the Chargers base.
I think this is the point where Suck needs to really go all out and don't even think about D, because down 3-0, you have nothing to lose.
And down 3 is usually not too big of a problem on most maps, but on this map, they have to change something up if they want to try to salvage round 1.
Absolutely. And each spawn, like you said before in the close to the pregame, you start with pistol spawns for quite a bit. It takes time to build up your arsenal and mount a effective offense.
Right. For those, fresh from King Dime's stream and unaware of Doom multiplayer havocs, a lot of maps will give you that super shotgun right off the spawn. Now, that changes dynamics a lot when you don't have that utility available to you and every second matters. We're approaching 1 minute left in round 1. And at this point, if I were the Chargers, I would be like, look, what do we have to change to make round 2, also on map 08, more in our favor? Blair doing some runs on his own. I think all pretense of having defense have been completely dropped. I was surprised to not see Blair defending. I was gonna say,
I thought it was Prime up there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Prime was up there, was up top, defending. Now what he's doing now?
In all the practice sessions, Blair was really locking that top D pretty well, I would say.
Ralph making a really good run, using the corners, jumps across, gets dropped by a pea shooter, and
a tough break. Wow.
Little pistol kill to just sink it in.
Got a little tickle in his step.
Ed's saying, no, you're getting 0 flags.
That could have been a morale booster for round 2, but TOF, nope, not tonight.
No, and that will bring us to the end of round 1.
Yeah, I think Suck needs to shift things up a little bit. Maybe put Blair back on the top D spot.
Yeah, if there's one thing the Chargers are known for, if there's one thing Ralph is known for as a team captain, it's changing things up. No team that he builds is ever without multiple options. But it's on them as we get into round 2. Prime looking to play more offensively, maybe in the base. Blair out mid with a chain gun. I'm not sure we're seeing that change we were looking for. Could it work? Perhaps. Maybe they might be trying to go blow for blow with TOF in the mid. Trying to control that center area.
I think a big problem or a big challenge in a map like this is if you try to play middle defense, let's say with 1 or close to 2 people at a time, you are vulnerable to those side rocket jumps that go across the map. So those little ledges that are up there.
Dustin trying to get that rocket jump over. But he caught the corner trying to guard himself from the entrance of the base.
It's the other thing with rocket jumping maps. You're bound to see some really funny physics at play if things don't go your way.
And excellent work from Dastin in not only clearing the top with precision rockets, but he's across, but dropped by an interception. One player very key in defending him cross, because if they get over to mid, over to their side, it might as well be a capture. So excellent return there. Prime and Dastin with each other's the other team flags, but Dastin trying to get that low damage rocket jump up to top on the side, and it just doesn't connect, showing how tricky and precise you have to be with the rocket jumps. Ralph looking for a way out in one piece, doesn't find it. Dastin is one of the stronger runners this season, very technical, and a key in TOF's victories throughout the regular season. Ralph with a touch, 35 health, not enough to work with on a rocket jump, even with that slope. We saw Dastin get up on the slope of the wall, and that reduced rocket damage by a lot, but got him enough force to get up top. Dastin looking for a way out, gets 1 frag, 2 frags, but not the third that he needs to fight his way out of the base. It is round 2 of the semi-final match between the Superchargers and Ty's OnlyFans. TOF won the first round, and we're on round 2, also on their home field. The next round will be on the Superchargers' home field, the red team.
It does look like things have stabilized a little bit though for Suck. They're not letting out as many things or as many captures as round 1.
Yeah,
but I could be speaking too soon.
Definitely. Dastin is across. Is there anyone up top that will intercept him before the flag gets captured? There is not. 1-0 in favor of TOF with 7 minutes left to go. And a quick shot from Dastin drops a very wounded runner as he begins his rocket jump journey across over to the top. Is he keeping the top player alive? I believe that defender dropped. He used the slope, jumps up.
Dastin's out, yep.
And gets that second rocket jump as well on the lower platform so that he doesn't kill himself with the rocket jump.
He makes it look super easy.
He makes it look effortless. Now that jump, that series of jumps, requires a lot of precision.
Yeah, and for viewers that are not familiar with Doom physics or mechanics, since you have such random damage values, it's really hard to stay alive after 2 rocket jumps. So your precision with the angles and the timing has to be perfect to survive those 2. Let alone 1 rocket jump, let alone 2.
Yeah, and we're just continuing to watch Dastin chain rocket jumps like a pro. And he did get out of the base real quick there, but there was a defender who turned around and was very surprised to see Dastin already dropping on top of him. Ed with a touch on the Chargers flag, 3 health to his name, but mid looks clear. But Blair was waiting at the entrance. Propped up against that wall, so anyone up top did not see him. Prime with a pistol run. No dice.
I think he went back towards the blue side. I think maybe the teleporter confused him a little bit.
Yeah, that teleporter, gotta watch out for those teleporters and those rockets as Prime gets dropped by one of Dastin's rockets, but Prime returns the favor, securing the red base for only a short time.
Yeah, there's nobody at the top and Suck's side. I'm not sure that maybe they thought something else would work here because I don't think they've tried what they've been doing in practice.
And that shows the precision you need to pull off these rocket jumps. I mean, Dastin made it look so easy before, but just a little bit off on your angle, and you don't get that angled lift that you need. There's a pickup from Ed, and that will be good for the third flag. A quick suicide to reset his health and position, allowing him to grab a weapon quicker. Prime trying to get out of the blue base. No luck there.
So that last cap, it looked like somebody in red. There were 2 red defenders in the middle, but I think they were facing a different way. They got confused there in all the chaos.
And round 2 looking pretty strong for TOF. We're coming in on 4 minutes left on the clock. A pickup from Ty, the defender for Ty's OnlyFans and the namesake of the team. Bringing it to 4-0. Ed already out to mid with another touch. But it was returned. Ralph looking to try to get the Chargers on the board. The Chargers, they might be looking to leave this map behind. Dastin intercepted by a rocket, excellently placed to return the flag for the Chargers, but you know, 4-0 with 3 minutes left, or 3:30 left on the clock. It's tough.
Yeah, they gotta go all out here. They gotta at least put a little bit of a dent in TOF's plans and get some momentum for the next set of games, if there is more than one.
And a viewer brings up a good point. Even if Suck secures their home field, they will need to do something about round 5 on this map. Absolutely. Right. Very well put. And that is the power of the home field advantage. If both teams win the 2 rounds on their home field, that 5th round is pivotal. Prime dropped real quick after grabbing the flag.
You know, this could be like a vastly improved version of TOF too, because they're not letting up. You know, they're not simply resting on their lead here. They're really going for it.
Yeah, they are absolutely putting the screws to the Chargers. They know that map 3 is a vastly different arena and will require a different setup, and perhaps favors the Chargers more in terms of sheer chaos they have to control. This map is a very structured map, and with TOF's coordination and frag power, it absolutely favors them. Prime looking to try to get up with his rockets. 1 rocket, 2 rocket, no luck there. 20 health to go. Kills himself on a teammate. Blair with the pickup, but no
in the middle.
Dice. Prime gets up the pickup next.
Carriers cross each other.
Carriers, you know, say hi. We'll do a little wave to each other. Prime with a good rocket to secure just a few seconds of breathing room, but he has no health. Red flag return, but he's got a carrier in the base.
Nice.
And
there you go.
We just saw a blistering series of events where the carrier wasn't able to grab that flag in time, and that secured the Chargers 1 flag on the board. But they have 1 minute 30 seconds left to go, and Ed is already across with the flag. They have to return this.
He's got to hold this here. Yeah, he's got to hold and wait for his teammates to help.
And that is a return and a subsequent score. TOF winning round 2.
Crazy game there at the end. Yeah, it's this next map is going to be interesting though, because it's really open. There are lots of spawns in the flag room, so maybe that chaos can work in Suck's favor. We'll see.
And Ty with 52 frags, showing that he did not let up on defense at all in map 5. And yes, 5 is the score limit. 5 flag captures or 10 minutes, whichever is greater. We're going to float around a little bit, giving a little overview of map 3 and how open it is. Starting off watching Ralph drop, and then Ed with a last-second return from the Chargers to save them from an early deficit. Ralph looking to get out, gets caught on a lamp and brought down. There are endless, and a rocket jump from Blair to secure the first flag on the board for the Chargers. Their first time in the lead, but now they have to return the flag. They do. Ralph with a side route run, 2-0, showing just how the tables turn in how much map and team structure matters. early on. I mean, we're less than 1 minute off the clock, and the Chargers are up 2-0 in round 3. This is exactly what they needed. And for those who haven't watched a Capture the Flag match before of this pace, it is confusing. It is crazy. We're just as confused. Ralph, with the blue flag, gets that cover he needs, and there's enough health and armor to work with where he can go up 3-0. The Chargers almost going 4-0, last second return from TOF. And they just have to clear out the base.
Yeah, this is like, you're gonna see a lot of crazy returns here because of the 5 spawns with super shotgun at the flag room. So you're gonna see a lot of those last minute drops and kills.
And that also shows the difference in the spawns. I mean, as Chain has just said, with spawns having super shotguns on top of them, you're ready to go already. Like, just go for it. Ralph, with using that hard cover of the ledge to shield himself from shots from below, 4-0 on the board for the Superchargers. TOF's heads are spinning after such a controlled set of games on rounds 1 and 2. It's been turned on its head. The momentum is overwhelmingly in favor of the Chargers in round 3. And it looks like TOF is playing a little bit more central to their flag. We're going to switch over to Ty, the career defender for his teams throughout many seasons. And he is sticking pretty close to the flag, trying to stay within 1-shot range.
Ty was leading in frags in the last game, but now he's actually trailing his entire team. So it's kind of goes to show you how the map style can really throw your natural tendencies away.
And we talked a little bit in the pregame about how these are completely polar opposite maps in terms of style at first blush. And after years of us playing a variety of different maps, we know that there's going to be 2 different types of outcomes with such a stark difference in maps. And we're seeing it play out right in front of us. Ed trying to get across mid. I think that was a pickup from Dastin. And that's a return. TOF with the first score to their name on this map. So it is not a shutout. Excellently coordinated. And they might be starting to get a feel for this map. We might see a momentum shift. They stopped bleeding flags now that they got set up on this map, which makes me wonder if they practiced this map at all.
It's hard to say. Like I said, I didn't see TOF practicing that much, but then again, that was on my schedule. I don't know if they got a chance to really have a close look at this map with other times, but...
Ralph almost getting to that corner room with all the health that would have been which is a great boon to any runner. Blair looking to cover his own carriers.
Standoff.
Or no, we got a little bit of a standoff for the first time on this map. Both carriers hitting that health room, trying to stay alive. Blair seeing the glimpse of that one player.
The red base is overwhelmed right now.
That is an excellent route from Blair, but he's being chased. He has to get this last frag, and it's not good. Ralph with the touch, and Ty with the defender with the flag. The flag dropped in that corner. Blue flag returned. Dastin trying to get across, but dropped on the steps. It is, you can see the chaos unfolding. It's difficult to keep up. And that is just how the Chargers like it as we're halfway through round 3. Ralph applying finesse to draw 2 of TOF away from their flag, making a follow-up touch easier for a split second, but Dastin is on the offensive. Ralph with green armor, but just not enough health to shoulder multiple shotgun blasts at that range.
I really like what TOF is starting to do now, which is sending carriers with escorts instead of, one at a time.
And running 2-0 side by side is absolutely a great way to force another team to respect you. We'll get a little overhead view of the map of the flag bases. But We also have to remember that we are still looking at a 4-1 scoreline right now in favor of the Chargers. TOF has to do something in these final 4 minutes if they want to close out this series.
There's that support.
And is that what they need to secure a second flag? It is 4-2 in favor of the Chargers still, but that lead is shrinking as 2F gets established across map 3. We're just flipping over to carriers with a half-second lifespan at a blink of an eye, so it's a little jarring. Now the question is, what kind of momentum are the Chargers going to have going into round 4 if neither team closes this out in 3 minutes? They're going to have to figure out a plan.
I think they still have a really good shot of holding this down and perhaps even repeating the outcome in the next round if it gets to that point. They just have to really relax and not let TOF's adjustments really get to them.
And no, that is not an AFK player. It's kind of a ghost, a little byproduct of the server and client not communicating correctly. You can safely ignore that. Rest assured, all 6 players on the board are active, and that, especially all 3 players on TOF, who captured the flag and brought it to a 1 flag deficit under the Superchargers.
Just a couple minutes left here.
That is a touch from Ed, who jumps up to that
window,
top ledge, gets a frag, and that's a great running route from Ed.
Wow,
Base is
great
clear.
support there.
4-4. The next flag touch will do it. Or next flag capture, rather. We're not in that kind of sudden death. And I guess Ty actually ran out of ammo for a second, showing that he's established himself properly. And that is...
This could be it.
Oh no, I was watching Blair return the flag that was dropped right below. I don't know what happened to the carrier. We got Ralph with another touch. Looking to outrun. Get the flag. Pick it up. Blair.
Wow,
and Prime.
That was a great relay.
A
Almost
3-man...
the entire suck team.
It was the entire suck team. It went from Ralph to Blair to Prime.
Doom Olympics right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent. And that was round 3 going to the Chargers. We're going into round 4, which will be on the same map, map 3.
Then this will be a lot closer than we thought.
We're going to start with a little overhead view, watching everybody take their preferred routes. But before we switch over to Ralph, has dropped right away after the first touch of the game. Of the round, rather. Round 4. Round 3 went to Superchargers, and the first 2 rounds went to Ties Only Fans, which brings us still to match point in favor of TOF. Flag returned right at the foot of their main base area. You can't really call it a rim because there's no walls.
But for how open this map is, actually, there are some really cool routes and tricks that you can still do.
Yeah, we've seen a couple good footwork routes from Ed and Ralph. You can jump up to and down from multiple areas in ways that may not be immediately visible. But these players are experts at timing. They are semifinalists, after all. Yeah, Dastin trying to get out of the suck base, but can't get the frags he needs to close out that run. Ed with a touch. 65 health, now 30. That lamp is the most electrifying lamp in Doom Entertainment.
Tried the bridge double jump there, but Chuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of options for the runner, and that's if they survive that room, that really very open flag room, flanked by multiple spawns. That armor, green armor, familiar to many Doom players, reduces your damage by 1/3, or reduces incoming damage by 1/3, sorry, and is valuable to every runner under the sun. Ralph looking for a way out, trying to get to that hard cover of the long hallway. Dastin, 30 health, needs a little bit of cover, and he has enough distance between him and the chasing 2 players to break the stalemate. TOF going up in round 4, 1-0. It is going to be a nail-biter for the Superchargers, who are on the edge of elimination. They staved it off last round, but now they need flag captures. They need to supercharge their offense, in a manner of speaking.
So far, it seems like TOF has really stepped it up and, you know, stopped the bleeding in those first few minutes in round 1, in the first round in this map here.
Yeah, I believe we saw halfway through round 3, we saw TOF buckle down and say, look, we need a style established now. And they have, and it has helped them secure 1 flag on the board. Now it's up to the Chargers to respond. Ralph looking to drop that defender, but he's forced to choose between a return and a pickup that drops right next to him. He wasn't aware of it in time, and that's just how maps go sometimes. Dastin quickly dropped and flag returned. In a map like this, you absolutely want to return your flag to a central spot instead of letting it sit.
Oh, he got the bridge down. Ed to the naked room now.
Yeah. Ed is got some hard cover available to him. And a safe spot. Killing the person chasing him to secure the flag capture, bringing it to 2-0 in favor of TOF. But Ralph says no. Not so fast.
Rocket jump again. Here we go, here we go. Oh!
Oh, and Blair with a rocket jump. They got their eye on that, though, but it just shows you can cover the entire midfield with a rocket jump. And that is something to be very wary of. Dastin with a point-to-point flag capture. 3-1 in round 4 in favor of TOF. A few more flag captures, and they'll be moving on to the grand finals. Ralph dogged down by 1 player, looking to get the second. 2 of them chasing him. No dice. Dastin cleared the way. 4-1 in favor of TOF. 1 more flag capture will send TOF to the grand finals against Best Ever.
Still half more to go, but Suck really needs to start stepping it up here. Otherwise, TOF is going to run away in the home field. Yeah,
we got 5 minutes left to go, and there is a significant frag discrepancy between TOF and Suck. 118 compared to 89.
Oh.
It's a 30 frag gap, and that does establish presence on maps like this.
Still up on the bridge. I'm not sure they're going to get to it. Oh. Wow. Good pickup there. Just got to be careful.
Ralph with the pickup. But he has to... Oh, and he's just dropped from below.
Yeah.
He must have thought the way was clear, but guess what? It was not. Dastin.
Yeah. Oftentimes you see players crowding around the flag platform, so sometimes going down that hallway is not the smartest thing, but I think in that case, it didn't go his way.
No, sir, it did not. 4 minutes left to go. 4-1 in favor of TOF. The nails are just being hammered into the coffin of the Superchargers. They know it. Time is not on their side. They have to get a swift response, and they have to do it now.
That they do.
Dastin still getting those touches in, and that does force the Chargers to turn around. They can't afford to lose another flag. Dastin is out. But he went back up the staircase and said, hey, you can have your flag back.
What a nice gentleman.
Dastin says, I'm going to capture the flag now. But not quick enough. Getting hung up on the part of that staircase might have cost him that flag. It does come down to very small nuance like that. We're speedrunners in our own way. Tyson
he's
with the
dropped.
flag, but just trying to weave between the bullets. And
Oh,
they do
no,
get
I
a
think
last
that
second
is
return.
it.
And that's
That
it.
was... Wow.
And that's it in a 3-1 victory. TOF will move on to the grand finals. So we'll be waving goodbye to the Superchargers. But they played valiantly. Map 08 was just not their style. I mean, that's just a tough break when it comes to Doom Capture the Flag. And that's how the playoffs get structured. You know, home fields can make it or break it. Practice can make it or break it. But we'll be seeing Ties OnlyFans move on to face Best Ever in the grand finals. And that will be happening next week. Now, for everybody out there who hasn't quite caught all of our games or is even interested in more games, we have a lot of the VODs of the casting we started this season on our youtube.com/doomleagueorg link in the chat from Nightbot. Also of note is the schedule link at the end with when the game gets scheduled for the grand finals. It will be posted on that link. And we'll be back next week for the grand finals. Now, we don't know exactly when that will be because there is a major Doom event happening next weekend as well.
Oh, correct. QuakeCon at home.
Yeah, QuakeCon at home. So we will. Have no doubt that there are players on both Ties OnlyFans and Best Ever that are going to be competing in that. So I don't think we'll be conflicting with that schedule. So look for it to be scheduled possibly later on Sunday. But we'll figure that out as the week moves on. Thank you to Chain for co-casting this game, veteran player Chain and member of Rip and Tear.
For having me.
Absolutely. And thanks to everybody. I mean, thanks to King Dime for the giant host. Thanks to everybody for coming out on this Sunday and learning a little bit of Doom CTF, our own little corner of the Doom community. And I hope you really enjoyed what you saw. We try to bring it to you. But yeah, don't go anywhere for about a week because we got the grand finals. And that is going to be a slugfest between the number 1 and number 2 seeds of the league. So no slouches here. We'll play you out with the World Doom League theme made by Ralphus, who we just watched. And we'll see you soon. Have a great Sunday, everybody.
Get easy.